What's up, y'all? In this video, I'm gonna go over a couple things. I'm gonna go over how I got to Brazil. I'm gonna go over the thought process I had to leave Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to be able to live in Salvador Bahia, Brazil, for the last 6.5 years, going on 7 years. And I also want to tell you why you're not doing something similar. Okay, so start with the why you're not doing something similar. Uh, Most people, you included, if you're watching this video, you're not doing a something that causes a drastic change in your life because you're too busy asking people for permission. Now, you don't ask people permission the way you think, like, hey, can I please do this? Can I please make a drastic life decision? But it's kind of like the idea of a death by 1,000 cuts. It's the same way. We're always asking and seeking validation. Because we ask and seek for validation constantly, whether it's in our small decisions or our big decisions. Hey, what do you think we should eat? Hey, do you like this shirt? Do you like this dress? Hey, should I wear my hair like this? Hey, what do you think about this opinion? Well, I'm not gonna give my opinion because people might get mad at me. Well, I want to speak. I would speak up, but I could be wrong. That's validation-seeking behavior, and validation-seeking behavior is gonna always stop you from living the life that you aspire to live. Because aspire and wanting aren't the same thing, right? You don't have a desire for it. If you had a desire for it, you make something happen, right? And so, because people seek validation consistently, it keeps them living in a box, right? And so the first thing we have to do when it's time to start making big decisions and taking big action, we have to kill that person inside of us that needs validation. We have to kill that idea of other people know what's best for my life, right? And we see this in people who have strict parents. We see this in people who have, you know, have pursued academics at a high level. All right, those people are all validation seekers. And I'm not knocking people who have strict parents. I'm not knocking people who went really far in academics or anything like that. But it's just a commonality amongst those people is that they're constantly seeking validation. And that's at least the pattern I see, the thought pattern I see, right? But moving on, all right, we have to push past the person in our mind who seeks validation from other people. Because then we can start making courageous decisions. And as I get into that thought process of being courageous, when was the last time you were courageous about anything? When was the last time you asked a girl out? When was the last time you tried something new? When was the last time you did something that other people didn't know about that was positive, right? It's like, hey, I'm gonna change my body for me. Hey, I'm gonna go up and talk to that girl for me. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna move to another city for me, right? So we have to take the incentive away from validation. Next thing, how did I get to Brazil? I had held on to the idea that I would live outside the United States for a very long time. I left the United States for the first time traveling in 2005. I was 16, maybe going on 17. Yeah, 16 going on 17. And back then, Europe was a different place. But I spent 2 weeks in Germany, and I was like, hey, I like this travel thing. I can do this more often. And I'm so thankful that I did that because it put me in a situation where I knew that the world was much bigger than Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And it set me up for what was next in life. Obviously, I was going to college. Once I get to college, I read the 4-Hour Workweek back in 2008. Thank God I read that back then because it put me in a situation where I could be able to plot my career out. I knew that the new rich, as the book describes by Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Workweek, the new rich were the people who had time and location independence. It wasn't just based on finances. And so I read this book and I just kept reading it. I kept just ingesting it and like trying to figure out what I can do with it, all right? And helped me pick my career, but it also helped me pick where I would live next. And it gave me a very particular idea, and the idea was geo-arbitrage. And so what Tim Ferriss talked about geo-arbitrage in the book 4-Hour Workweek, when he talked about geo-arbitrage, he was saying that essentially we leverage the U.S. dollar against weaker currencies, and we live in those weaker currencies while earning a U.S. dollar. And that was groundbreaking for me. And I was like, hey, I can do this. I know I can do this. Fast forward, I started to build out a social media following on Twitter at that time. And then I put myself in a situation where, hey, I learned how to grow a social media following. And I kept, ruminating on the idea that, hey, I could do some of the things that 4 Hour Work we talked about. He was talking about online businesses in 2008. It's 2025 now. And I was like, yo, this is possible. I can do it. It's possible for me. I tried a few things here and there, and it wasn't really working. But fast forward 10 years, I'm deep into my insurance career at this point. It's a contract job, so I can kind of come and go as I please. I'm making great money at that time, and I get a call to go to Canada, and I work for a Canadian company. I go out there, and while I'm there, I learn from some Canadian guys. I'm inside this group on how to make online products, how to do online marketing, so on and so forth. And I'm studying this every day. Every day when I'm not at work, I'm studying how to make online products. I'm studying, how the systems work online, so on and so forth. I don't really create anything with it. I'm just studying. I go back to Alabama for a little bit, go to Brazil. I come down here to visit, but I knew I was gonna be living here. So I come down here and I put myself in a situation where I was like, hey, I can start, trying some things. So I started trying to make a marketing agency based off kind of what I learned from that group, right? And it didn't really work out. I go back home for a little bit. Fast forward, pandemic happens. Fast forward, it's 2020. And I was like, you know what? Let me try this thing one more time. And at that point, I had already done a marketing agency. It didn't really work out. But I was like, you know what? This insurance thing could be in pretty high demand if people knew about it. This is making me 6 figures. And so I said, hey, you know what? Let me make a course. I'll make a course. I'll do the exact same thing. I'll know how to market this. I know how to do all this and that. I know the system. I know emails, funnels, so on and so forth. So I make the course. Boom. $11,000 first month. And then that course wound up making me several hundred thousand dollars. It's not about the course. It's about the idea of freedom. Okay. I continue to seek freedom. So from 2008 to 2020, that's 12 years. Could I have done it in that first 2008, 2009? Of course. But I was doing some skill stacking. I was getting some experience. I didn't know what I didn't know, right? But that catalyst of living free, of being location independent, being time independent, those two things really helped change my lifestyle. Right? I'm in Salvador, Brazil, by the way, right now, in Campo Grande, recording this video. And now I speak Portuguese. Obviously, I speak English clearly, as y'all know. I'm bilingual, and I put myself in a situation where I run a business, and I've taught thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and I've impacted hundreds of people's lives and getting them hired, right? And I'll say all that to say is this: I had a burning desire, and I still have that burning desire for independence with time, financial, and location independence. And I have a burning desire to see other people get the same thing. Because here's what I've learned as I've achieved these things. What I've learned is that outside of the money, because I have more time freedom, I enjoy my life more. I have more hobbies. I have more fulfilling friendships, right? I'm healthier. My mindset is much healthier. My mental health is better, right? Because I don't have to worry about time, location, and money. I've separated time and location from the money. I put myself in a situation where I can self-actualize. Those of y'all who don't know about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that is, self-actualization is the top of that pyramid. Food, sleep, housing, that's at the very bottom. Most people are stuck at the very bottom, so they never get to self-actualize. They never get to see who they could actually be outside of struggle. Who are you outside of struggle? Who are you outside of survival mode? Do you even know who that person is? And it's okay if you don't. All right? It's okay if you don't. But what I would say is, take the effort to find out. Okay? So you're going to find out by stop seeking validation through other people. Start focusing on how you can remove money from your time and location. Okay? How you earn money cannot be tied to time and location. You can figure that out. You're on your way to self-actualization, because then you can begin to think about other things. You can begin to take care of other things. All right? I live in Brazil, so I'm constantly practicing geo arbitrage day in and day out. I earn in USD. I live in Brazilian real. my money multiplies by 5.2 to 5.6 every single time US dollars hit my bank account. I'm spending in another currency, so it gives me much more cushion to live life, to build a business, to do the things I need to do. Excuse me, do the things I need to do. Right? I don't really make these videos on YouTube like this, but my hope is that I start doing this more often. I hope y'all like this. If y'all like it, let me know. I'll start posting more videos like this. But you know what? I'm not gonna edit this. I'm gonna just drop it straight like it is now. And for those y'all who get it, y'all got it. If I got questions, let me know in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them.